One of the running themes in our book, Communicating Ice Through Popular Art and Aesthetics, is metaphor. And metaphor is a good way to see things differently. And whether you're a science communicator or an artist, metaphor is a really powerful tool. I'm going to try and do a metaphor right here, Anna-Sophie. I've got a globe of water. Okay, and we talk a lot about ice in the book. So let me turn this into ice. I'm going to use liquid nitrogen for that. Maybe you can tell the folks at home about the book. Whoa!
Yeah, so this brand new book explores questions such as what aesthetic and artistic strategies are used to communicate research on ice and its crucial role for our planet. It also asks questions like what kind of cultural work do popular aesthetics, popular art forms, artistic formats do in the context of research on ice and its communication about them. We are also interested in questions around the cultural meanings of ice within sciences, but also beyond. And Graham, what are you doing right now?
So I'm actually freezing a balloon full of water. I use ice in my science shows to talk about changes of state and physics and boiling points and melting points. But ice can actually represent other things as well. And in my science shows around climate change and global warming, ice represents something quite different. And ice, through the book, lots of different cultural meanings, different scientific meanings. But we are going to try and make a little ice globe. And I thought, because one of the big themes in the book is around our planet and what ice represents at the poles.
And really also about these stories that we tell about ice. For example, in our cultural ideas, cultural imaginaries about ice, the stories we tell about ice are really deeply rooted in colonial fantasies from the 19th century, where ice is perceived as a heroic deed. We have adventurers, we have explorers, we have scientists who wanted to tame the ice, to dominate and master the ice. And these ideas and these narratives are now being challenged and transformed into closer encounters, emotional appeal, and really a closer connection and care, as Graham said, care for our planet.
I think you're saying taming ice.
Yeah.
I think I've tamed this ice, and we're going to try and do something with it. And one of the things we explore in the book is that kind of fragility of ice. It's a very fragile thing and it can symbolize change. And we're going to try and tame our ice. Now, I've got something really, really hot here, a soldering iron. Don't ever play with one of these at home, but it is a great way to turn our ice back into water. And now what I've got here is a little sphere of ice. Now we're going to try and get this out. And Anna-Sophie, this might get a little bit messy, okay? And ice, it really is this fragile stuff. Let's try and get our ice out. All right, it is very fragile. And it really is very pretty when we get it back out. So ice can have these scientific meanings.
And cultural meanings. And aesthetic meanings.
Yeah. Would you like to hold that? Wow.
Woo! That's a nice
And the cold meanings. Yeah. So we can represent all these things through ice, and that's why it's such a powerful tool, a powerful icon when we're trying to, I guess, change how people look at climate change, how people feel about climate change, and what we can do about climate change.
And you really write about all of that in your chapter.
Yeah, I do. We can use things like science demonstrations, not just to explore the physics and look at these, cool physical properties of ice, but actually look at, how ice makes us feel, how ice has been part of science through history, and how it is part of science going forward. And hopefully, if we care a little bit more about our ice, we're going to be able to care a little bit more about our planet. And that's certainly something I hope ice can do, and I write about in my chapter.
And you can find out more in our brand new book on communicating ice through popular art and aesthetics.